Alright. Hello, everybody. I'm Ayami Mikushu, and this is my lovely friends. This is Zhao, who's currently away. My twin, my my friend Dragon, um, my partner Career, who is currently MIA, and another one of my friends, May. So a lot of them will be muted for the time being, or will be chiming in every so often to help me stay on track because ADHD is a bitch. So with that being said, let's go on ahead and um, well, now you will be.
I'm, s- I'm scrolling through YouTube and I'm getting like 50 people going, what? Because my messages.
Dude, you had one job. Just one. My dear sweet
I
baby
wasn't there
Jesus.
since on Discord. What do you expect to happen?
Oh my lord. Here we go again. But anyway, I'll go on ahead and kind of preface this by saying trigger warning to any and all parties that may have been involved or have been affected by this. With that being said, a trigger warning for the following. Domestic assault, as well as manipulation, gaslighting, DARVO, basically anything that would be considered predatory behavior under the Constitution and the United States law. For those who don't know, I also want to preface this by saying, as a PSA, I am not telling you to befriend or not befriend anyone that you do not want to be friends with. I just want you to be aware of the things that have happened to me and the experiences that I have had to deal with over the past 3 years, as well as some of the trauma that I am still going through and some of the things that I will probably continue to have to deal with since I am a mother and I do have a 2-year-old son. For the sake of this video, I will be calling my son by his online persona name, and it will be Noir, or I will reference him by saying my son. So, with that being said, I'm going to go on ahead and preface the rest of this video by saying viewer discretion is advised. If you are not above the age of 18, please keep scrolling. Um, and if you are in a similar situation, feel free to tell me your experiences down below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Back around, I think, August of 2022, I met Zephyro and we became friends. At this time, he was currently having to deal with um, his own set of ex issues as well as problems of his own creation back at that particular time.
What I'm referencing is a particular time between him and his ex, as well as Scarlet Fox participating in this particular drama, as well as protecting a known lolicon at that particular time.
I will be calling out the people who have decided to shame me publicly.
This is 2 people that have thought it was a good idea to call me out. Let's just, keep these 2 people in mind. They have also changed their names as well to the following, because they are no longer that anymore. And they have changed their name to Scarlet Fox. This is what it says for that. And this is their new Discord and Twitter handle. Just as an FYI.
Because I believe that is only fair. And I believe that if you have the balls to call someone out and trash their name, you should be able to do so in your defense. I'll be calling this person out because, one, this person has caused me tremendous amounts of pain and has also incited cyberbullying and harassment, not just on Discord, but also on Twitter, main place being Twitter. I think there was also a server called Respawn that also kind of helped scoot this document along. That was way bigger than it needed to be. And we will be picking up on the Respawn drama later on down the line. That'll probably be my next video, so stay tuned for that. But Zephyro has caused a lot more problems than not just the document, but as well as telling my personal business to not only his close friends, but people outside of his friend group. I have no problem with somebody going to their friends and discussing issues with their friends. That is between them and their friend group. I have no problem with that.
At what point during all of this, he told his friend group that I was like spreading malicious lies and shit. And they helped me through the hardest times, from me having to be sent to the hospital for my 72-hour watch and every time after that. So for him to say that I'm telling everybody his mother is fucking rich, coming from somebody who literally consulted with absolute strangers. Yeah, crazy.
What I have a problem with is telling complete random strangers on the internet about our personal life when I've deliberately said keep it in DMs. The reason I haven't said anything until now is because I am not obligated to speak when someone tells me to.
Kid, the person who was trying to call me out, was also trying to be like, hey, you need to talk about this. You need a reality check, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's my thing. I'm not obligated to give you the time of fucking day, okay? I do not care. Alright? You need to talk about this now. You should talk about this now, sweetheart. No, I shouldn't. I'm not about to have you rile me up. And then you saying, Google Doc, hope to give me a wake up call. She has been avoiding trying with her son to be with a guy. Sorry, can't read. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. She has been avoiding trying with her son to be with a guy. She's been cheating on the father. First of all, sweetheart, get your fucking facts straight. I mentally checked out of the relationship back on May 25th of 2024 when I had to be put in a mental institution because I was pushed to suicide by the fucker that you decided to work with. So don't come at me being like, I need a reality check when this motherfucker was the one who cut me off from speaking with my son or even interacting with him or seeing him on his birthday. I was denied 2 birthdays, his first and second birthday. Let's not get that fucking twisted. And also, like, I fucking blocked her because, one, I also have a Twitter account that I practice voice acting on. And I said, dude, imagine being a grade A sack of shit to someone you love and care for. Ha, can't fucking relate. Zephyro also has his own personal alternate accounts that he just uses to bully and harass people or keep tabs on people that he deems as enemies. So it says, don't act like you're a saint, that you're lying and not. It says, can't see the full picture. I think what they mean by that is like you're not seeing the full picture. I'm like, sweetheart, I see the full fucking picture. Pattern of behavior again. Next. And then they continue to incite bullying and harassment. Fucking crazy.
It's my experience, it's my life, and it's not just for drama and it's not for clout, just to make you feel better about your life. It's not your place to sit there and judge me about a medical problem that I couldn't control. That being the fact that Zephyro told someone that we were not close to, that he was not close to, that I aborted my child. That is not the case. I will go on ahead and debunk that right now because that has been one of the main things that has been bugging me and has sat wrong with me for months. I am not obligated to tell you my medical history. That is between me and my doctor, but I will go on ahead and say that when I miscarried in July, I was told I had one of three choices. Two of the three choices that I was given were going to leave extreme amounts of trauma, and I was not willing to sit there and be in sepsis and die because of those two choices. I decided to have a medically induced abortion or a medically induced surgery because it would be safer for my body for both recovery time and for overall mental health and overall wellness in general. And I told Zephyro these choices. I called him on the phone. I told him what happened. I told him my choices that I had. And I already told him the choice that I made. The heartbeat had already long since stopped before my 7-week ultrasound. And I found that out at my 7-week appointment. And I didn't know when I went to the hospital beforehand that it was going to lead to me being extremely, extremely sick. I knew with this particular pregnancy something felt off, something felt wrong, but there was nothing I could do about it. And it was just not meant to be. And I don't blame anybody. My body at that time it wasn't strong enough to hold the child that I was going to be carrying. And that's okay. I've made my peace with that particular aspect. Zephyro, when he made that comment, did not. And yes, everybody grieves at different times, but he had no right to tell people that I just aborted my child for no particular reason. There was a reason. It was medically necessary. Plain and simple. And as for a lot of the other things that he's said, that has been bothering me. When I was under generalized anesthesia, he took my phone without my knowledge or consent and took pictures of my phone between me and my now partner, Career. A random snippet that was supposed to be like a gotcha moment when it wasn't that at all. And before he decided to edit the document, I have the full original document. But with this particular video, I'm not going to show any real receipts, so to speak. I just want to kind of talk through what I'm feeling or have been feeling since I think I was 3 months pregnant in March when Noir was 3 months. I think Noir was like 3 months old at the time. At the time in March, for those of you who have known me for a really long time, I lost both of my parents when I was 13, 14 eons. I lost my parents a long time ago, and March has never been a particularly easy month for me since I lost my parents. A lot of my friends here who have known me for a really long time have noticed, or at least I've told them at least maybe like 50 times. I don't know. I talk about shit a lot, so it tends to get a little weird. I tend to accidentally retell stories, so I apologize. Zephyro has also used my son's actual name in documents, in GoFundMes, or in a GoFundMe, and in the doc that he released, as well as spread our son's name far and wide to complete strangers. And I've told him this once before, that if we were going to reference our son, we were going to reference him because we chose two names. We chose his IRL name, and we chose his persona name, because we're both streamers, and we both make content. So we both understood that we weren't going to be able to talk about our son's IRL name on streams or in content. So instead of just referring to him as our son, or the son of the Shu family, or the son of the Belfov family, we would refer to him as Noir. So we had a persona name already picked out for him, just in case if we needed to reference him for something, like if he did something funny, like, for an example, he decided to take a full nose directly to a door when I had to watch him while Zephyro had one of his episodes and he had to be in the hospital. So while we were watching him, Noir decided to take Career's hat and put it on his head. This hat is bigger than this child's head, and he runs smack into the bathroom door. I love my son. I love my son, but this child is like a bouncy ball, I swear. Oh my gosh. So we had a mutual agreement that we would refer to our son other than just that as Noir. So he continued to use his IRL name after I've made it clear multiple times if he had to be brought up in conversation to use his persona name online. That's why I haven't posted any pictures of my son online. I haven't posted them on Facebook, Instagram, nowhere. I only send them to my brother. Like, I keep all of my son's pictures in a folder and I send them to my brother when he decides to do something funny. That is literally the only person I send them to. So that is the boundary that I set with Zephyro. That's what I set. We set this up months ahead of time before he was even born. We already agreed that our son would never be posted on the internet, period, to protect his overall safety with everything that's been going on. And if you know, you know, for those who are moms out there. And for those who have been near moms, understand the generalized premise as well. As far as everything has been concerned, I've tried being nice to this person multiple times and I kept getting stepped on over and over and over again. And that is why I'm having to make this video, not just because of the fact that I was assaulted by his mother, not because my dead family, my dead parents were used against me. It's because I want to move forward with the overall consensus and knowledge that I'm doing the right thing by telling my experience, and that if someone else has that same similar position, they have the courage to come forward with what they have to say. Because recently, it took me 5 months to get my diagnosis, but I went to a neurologist and I got tested for a lot of things that I believe that I would have had. And one of those I will never be able to fully understand. And a lot of my symptoms I've had since 14. So it's something that I've had to deal with. But I think a lot of my friends agree that in some form or fashion, he has been very manipulative, not just towards me, not just towards other people outside of our friend group. Even our mutual friends turned on me after I was assaulted. So I think there's a lot of reasons I made this video, and it's not because I want to take him down or anything like that. That's never been the case. It's been truly because what he did crossed a line that I believe should have never been crossed to begin with. I told him multiple times that I never wanted to go back with him. I never wanted to be in a relationship with somebody who would manipulate me and gaslight me and emotionally abuse me for doing one simple thing wrong. Like, I so much as be like, I don't want to talk about it right now. I would get punished for it. And even after being brought back from a mental hospital and having to deal with being condemned to sleep on a couch for 2 weeks straight, mind you, as well as being asked for sexual favors when I came back, when I literally, all I wanted to do was do anything for my son. I checked out of that relationship. Now that I think about it, I checked out of that relationship when I had to go to that mental hospital. I remember sitting in those walls, waiting for a phone call for someone to check on me. That never came. I knew, though. I knew from the very beginning that I was never going to get a call from the one person who decided to push me so far for me to almost commit suicide. I tried everything in vain. I tried being nice. I tried helping these people out of the pits of their own despair, and they screwed me royally, turned my good intentions into a self-serving matter that wasn't the case. I was literally assaulted over something that one of my old friends said. I told them about the situation in that house, and one of my guy friends was like, "Hey, that's fucked up. If like they ever laid your like something to the effect of if they ever laid their hands on you, I would fist fight them." And she took that as a threat and assaulted me anyway after she went through my personal belongings that she should have never went through. I still remember that day vividly, and they still have the video of my assault. And they pulled me out of the shower by my hair and started beating me and throwing me up against furniture, and I could do nothing to defend myself.
If I may though,
Go ahead.
I will say I didn't get close to this man. I really only associated with him during the duration of the time you two were together. I have witnessed a little bit of what happened, but I have not been here for a lot of it for obvious reasons. I'm not around you guys, like even
in
outside
person.
of the internet.
Yeah.
So I don't get to see. I don't know about a lot of behind the scenes aside from everything that you tell me or that I overhear and that I did overhear. I have my own gripes about that man, but that's not in the same. But obviously not as significant. That's only because of the fact that his personality did rub me a wrong way a little bit for how what I can really gather. He kind of had the kind of somewhat stuck up mindset. At least that's what I got gathered. That's the impression I got from him when I would hang around him sometimes. I did not. I will say, it was not a fun experience a lot of the time, which is why whenever I was around, I didn't really address him that much. I mainly only addressed you or other people in the chats. He was basically only there. I basically tolerated him for your sake, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people did. It was pretty my like I said, my experience with him was just meh at best. I can't think of anything else I could say. I feel like there's more I could say, but
Yeah, you're just waking up, so this is one of those impromptu things. So I get it.
it's not even just that. I've been drinking my root beer for a bit. I'm okay. It's just a matter. I
I am
really don't have
alive.
much I can say.
I am
I
alive.
don't really. I don't have much more I can say on like. I just think that me and him tried to click on some things, but it's just the fact that it's just
A lot of
his
people seem
mindset.
to have the opinion, from what I gather, a lot of people, when they would enter a VC with me, they would normally talk to me, and on occasion he would butt into conversations with the people in my community and try to connect with people in my community, but it never really, a lot of people didn't really click with him that well, and a lot of people were very uncomfortable with his presence to begin with.
His personality did a lot of.
Hi-
Sorry to interject. Personality was one of the big reasons for that.
Yeah, his personality in the beginning, like at first he was nice, he was cordial with a lot of people in my community, but after a while his true personality started to show, and a lot of the people that have come forward to me and have apologized to me have been like, "Yeah, I saw what he did to you. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, and I hope you're in a better and happier place now." And all I can really tell them is like, I hope in my heart of hearts, I hope that he gets better. I never want to wish ill upon anybody. But some people,
Of course not.
fuck you. Like with some
You know
people,
who you are. You know
yeah,
what you did.
you
Fuck
know what you did. Fuck you. It's just
That
like,
man in the back corner over there. Fuck you.
it's like that one particular ass motherfucker. Fuck you. But yeah, with everything that has happened over the past 3 years of him being in my community, I think I can kind of say this, and I think a couple of people in this call would agree with me. Feel free to speak your piece. I personally will no longer be associating, talking, or interacting with him on any kind of social media platform, period. I will not be collaborating with him. That's just me. What my friends want to do, that's their business. So
I see no reason to in my end either. So
there's that. How do you feel about this entire situation that has happened? Like, how would
For
you?
me, it was at first I was like full on the train. I went over and talked to Zeph. Had a few interactions. The guy generally just, I think he just generally unironically lost all of his marbles. If I'm being quite frank, because like I don't think I know someone that is going to sleep as little as he does and create as many excuses to not rest, and then will admit to my face that he has given a child what's that sleep medication called? I think it's like melatonin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been giving like melatonin to that kid almost every day, and every call I ever had with him, he's like, "Oh yeah, let me give Noir melatonin real quick so I could actually talk to you."
Yeah, and me as his mother, I don't give him that. I give him a full belly and the runaround. 'Cause that's what he's been giving me. Noir loves to run around and he loves to get into stuff. But
kids do what kids do. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the whole melatonin thing, I've discussed.
As far as melatonin, we're not giving him melatonin anymore. We're giving him like child-related gummies for his age that will kind of help him relax, as well as a full belly for bed, as well as tiring him out and making sure he has a good environment for sleep, as well as eliminating sugars.
In like 2024, he decided to do this. There's nothing I can say or he can say that will ever change the fact that this happened, and he will have to continue to take Noir to appointments to help push him along in some development areas. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do my best, like any other first time mom can do. And my friends have had their own experiences with him. Even my partner has had his own experience with him, and what they decide to do for their careers is truly how they want to do their careers. That's their choice. And I am always of the opinion, like, if I'm doing some dumb shit, call me out on it. I've always been that kind of person. And I hope that at some point he will eventually make some friends that will call him out on his shit and get his head screwed on straight, as the metaphor suggests.
Hi, I'm May. I met Zafiro back in early September 2025 in the Respawn server, a Discord server meant for smaller creators to connect and collab, and was actively friends with him until his document went up October 17th, 2025. I was not acquainted with Ayame during my time being friends with Zafiro. Zafiro started venting to me the night I met him about his wife and how she had left him and abandoned their son Noir. A lot of these vents included one-sided half-truths of the situation, which I would not find out until later. Little by little, he started getting obsessive with venting to me in my server's general call. I'd sometimes be locked in the call along with another friend, listening to him vent for over 4 hours at a time. This made us extremely uncomfortable and made us migrate our hangouts to a place without him, and there were a handful of times we would just lie and say we had to leave the call and would log off for the night and do something offline. We noticed he only vented to girls, never guys, and would halt the conversations about Ayame when a guy entered the call. Zafiro would often send me Ayame's socials and press me to harass her on his behalf, something I was uncomfortable and unwilling to do. There were a few times he sought validation on his behaviors towards her by telling me half-truths, but I did not agree with him. Like, do you think it's okay for me to have gone through her phone because I knew she was cheating? Was something he asked me. At the time, I did not know he had done this while she was having a medical procedure done and was unconscious and unconsenting. But I still told him that I thought going through a partner's phone was too sneaky and that if he's having a problem, he should say it directly. If I didn't agree with him, he would start adding stuff and making stuff up, becoming more and more aggressive and more desperate for my validation. When the document came up, it was clear to me that he intended to witch hunt Ayame, humiliate her publicly while validating himself. A lot of what he typed in that document was not consistent with what he had been telling us inside my server. As soon as I saw his friends witch hunting her, a mod meeting was called, and we discussed with everyone who interacted with him about his behavior before speaking with him and banning him from our server. A couple things that I would like to bring up here. He had repeatedly been drugging his son with sleeping medication to do collabs with us both in our server and the Respawn server, which we have a recording stopping midstream and telling him we do not want Noir to be heard on our stream since we are an 18+ channel. We also have witnesses and a screenshot of him admitting to drugging the child. There was a call, I'm unsure if he was serious or joking, but I had heard him physically beat Noir for pestering him and being too loud, then followed by the child crying uncontrollably. Because I could only hear what was happening, I'm not sure if he hit the kid or he was just making an unfunny joke and had hit something else. Either way, I heard him scream at the child, something getting smacked a few times in a row, and then the child crying. He often shared his...
My dear friend May actually just went on ahead and said something that I had no idea about. I'll go ahead and preface this by saying I do spank my child when he hits, kicks, and bites. Other than that, I do not discipline him for wanting attention. If he wants attention, he can crawl in my lap or he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to give me a toy and share it with me, that's fine. But I do want to go ahead and preface it by saying this. I have tried everything I possibly can as of this very moment, this recording going up, doing the best I can in the eyes of the court and doing what I can within the confines of the law because the law has never been too gracious to me.
He often shared his private DMs with Ayame. One time he told me she was crazy and called the cops on him for no reason and started talking about CPS. I found out later with screenshotted evidence that he often threatened suicide while having custody of the child, which forced her to do a well-being checkup on him. Him suicide baiting was something I've seen him do in the screenshots he sent me. These screenshots he sent me felt performative. Like he knew he was going to screenshot the messages and send it to people, so he knew to make himself look good and hoped to gain an unsavory reaction from her so he can cherry pick from them. Zafiro hung out with a server member of mine alone for the first time, where he vented about Ayame. He claimed that she intentionally aborted their child, framing her like a killer, while leaving out that she was miscarrying the child naturally, and how hard a toll all of that is on a mother. This member got uncomfortable and left the call after lying about needing to log off for the night.
Oh my gosh. So I made the mistake of saying, how are you doing? Oh, I'm not so good. Oh, is something on your mind? The proverbial floodgates opened. And I was like, this is my first one-on-one conversation with you. I bet that's crazy. I had them come and say, "Hey, can you come here and help me for something?" So I could inevitably relinquish myself from that conversation. He is such a liar. He said that she aborted their second child.
In the doc, he says she miscarried.
When my mod team and I spoke to him about the document, he claimed it wasn't meant to be released on Twitter, but it was for the court. I pointed out that it was very one-sided and didn't make sense that he was leaving out details if it's for court.
Honestly, I didn't even know that it was going to be posted. I was just asked to write down my whole experience and all that. And so I did. Believe it or not, the doc was not even my idea.
Another thing is like, oh, well, I wasn't the one to write the doc, but did you know that Kit has like basically an entire timeline of the document being made, teasing it little by little every couple of hours over the last few days, where she talks about like, oh, I sat down and wrote this doc with Zafiro, and Zafiro, like, you're saying that you didn't know that it was going to go up, but she's like, oh, well, I just need, like, he needs a moment, and then we're going to review it together, and then we're going to post it together. And that was said multiple times. So, like, if you didn't know it was going to be posted, first off, like, how did you know that this document wasn't, like, going to be a document, wasn't going to be a whole thing, when you're sitting there writing it for days and days and days, putting together in order the screenshots and stuff? And second of all, there's all these messages saying, like, oh, yeah, he needs a minute before he posts it.
No, I just honestly thought I was just writing down everything that happened, mainly for records, so that when I do finally go to the juvenile court and file abandonment, because I have to wait another month or so, unfortunately, that it will be there for me so that I don't have to like dig through like who knows what just to get everything together. Rather, I can get like the whole thing right there and be like, here you go, judge, here's everything that I have been recording over like the past ever and a day. The reason why not everything was put in there is because some of the things in there, just the more personal conversations, do not need to be like that available.
But the other thing is, like, since it's been up, you've made no attempt to ask her, hey, this is not okay. I didn't want you to post this. You need to take it down. In fact, there's a message from you that says, oh, like, thank you for all the support. Well, most of the comments are, oh, she's a bitch, she's horrible, right? And then the second comment that you made is like, thank you so much, Kit, for doing this for me.
And I will say this, the main reason that I was told that she did the post is because, like, she said that she's a major advocate for children, and the fact that, and I even, like, vented this because it's like, what was it? The other day, I brought up to her, to Ayame, his mental and emotional issues that have been getting worse since last Wednesday, and it's been a whole 4 days and crickets, nothing.
I really don't have to explain why I don't talk to Zephyro. His behavior explains everything. I don't talk to him because, one, I feel overwhelmed when talking with him. I feel uncomfortable. I feel unsafe. I feel like I can't trust him with simple information without it being used against me or my child being used against me. Yeah, and this is all because I wouldn't answer him for a couple of days. Like, no offense, I don't want to know about your life or anything about you. I only care about the stuff that about Noir. That is it. We are not together. Your health is not my problem. We are no longer together. You are your own person. I am my own person. I am not going to stop things in my day-to-day life when I do not have my son in my care. Just that simple. Sorry, not sorry. Also, let me go ahead and preface this by saying I recently found out that he is one of the main triggers of my complex PTSD and a lot of my other mental health issues that are attached to him being the way that he is. With my autism, he makes my autism flare up. It is not pretty, and I don't see why this has. Like, me not talking to you for a couple of days is me de-stressing and dealing with my mental health issues and healing, all because you decided to be a dick, and oh, I wouldn't answer you for a couple of days, fuck off.
It's like I've tried to get a hold of her, like, through her phone itself, not Discord, because, yeah, and it's been nothing but crickets. And that was, I guess that was probably, like, the last straw for her, at least. And plus with a speculated possible timeline, I guess I'm gonna say, it made it so much worse. On me, that is.
After going back and forth a bit, he got clingy to me and begged to stay friends. It got so bad, my husband had to interject and ask him to back off.
So, Zafiro, I'm just gonna be honest with you. We can't keep you in here. I'm sorry. Like, we have rules about harassment. This follows underneath it. And I just think that it's one of those things that doesn't really get a second chance, especially since we have a no harassment tolerance policy. There's a lot of stuff that concerns us, and so what I'm going to say is what I wish to happen is that we can all just quietly unfollow each other, quietly leave from each other's lives, and that will be it, and just not say anything. You know, and I think that will be what will be best for, honestly, all four of us.
I mean, isn't that a little much? I mean, I think my main thought is y'all have my word that this is the one and only time that it will happen, and I will listen to any criticisms and try to improve from there. This is a question I'll pose because I personally don't want to lose any of you guys as friends.
I hate, and I do mean hate, to say this, but when you start bad-mouthing somebody to other people, and it gets around that you're doing that, there needs to be an evaluation of both, not just your character, but the people that you surround yourself with. A lot of people are not going to put up with your shit. Sephiroth. No one wants to be associated with somebody who's bashing their partner, their ex-partner online. Point blank, period. No one supported you when you were doing it to Danny. Don't do it to me. Plain simple. You lost friends because of your actions and your behavior. And the only one you can blame is yourself.
But that seems to be what's going to happen anyway, unfortunately. But I want to just ask anyway, just to humor me. What would you have me do to prove it's like, hey, look, this is a one-time deal, it won't happen again? Because personally, I don't like this. I don't like having to be like, listen, here's what's going on, and for possibly like thousands to see. So I guess what I'm asking is, what would you all have me do to basically feel at ease?
I mean, and I'm gonna be honest, like, you can do whatever you want. We made up our mind before we entered the call.
And like I said, like a moment ago, I don't want to lose friends over this, and I do value you guys as friends. So it's like, I'm just trying to figure out some way that I don't lose you guys over this, because I mean, if there's any way, please. But
so this is honestly, I feel like this is the same situation you're going through with your wife. Is we've made our decision. Going forward, we don't want to be involved with you because we don't want to have a relation if this goes big. If something continues to happen, something goes on, if you're in our streams, if you're, talking with us constantly, that can affect us. And we've made our decision that going forward, we're not going to be friends. There's nothing that can change that. So that's something that you need to look at and see is like these kind of relationships go both ways. So if one person has decided to back out of the relationship, you can't force them to keep the relationship.
I just wish we could remain friends and just talk once in a while or something. But if that's not an option, I will have to understand and take this as a lesson.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is something all of us can learn from and all of us can hopefully grow from.
I mean, if there's any potential later down the line, if like either A, nothing happens, or B, whatever goes down, then I'd be more than happy to just hang out again. But because I won't say no to friends who have treated me well. Like, that's just not gonna be it for me. I'm not gonna say no.
Our minds about banning him had already been made up before speaking to him. The call was just a formality to let him know why he was being banned. I let a few mutuals know about his behavior. They checked out the document and found inconsistencies themselves from what he had told them. I had saved the original document within minutes of it going up because I knew once we spoke with him, he might try to alter it or private it. I debated heavily on whether I should give the document to a Yame or if I should stay out of it. I held on to the document for over a month before I was sent a VOD of a Yame talking about what exactly he had put her through and that they were going to court for custody of their child. I believe that the child is in an abusive and toxic home.
I want to preface this by saying that no matter how much I try and get full custody of my son, any way, shape, form, or fashion, there has been a roadblock, either by the courts or by lawyers or him or his family. So it's just out of my hands. There's not much I can do. I'm not in a place of wealth to really do much of anything other than just be the best mother I can be for my son.
So I handed over the document along with every screenshot and recording of harassment and slander. Lastly, I just wanted to say that I was Zafiro's friend, not Ayame's, but I recognized manipulative and abusive behavior in the time that I knew him, and at the time I would have only had his side of the story, not hers, and even only listening to his side, I thought it was very abusive.
Rest in pepperoni.
Like I said, you in the back, fuck off. I'm kidding.
But you know who you are.
You know who you are. Anyway, no, just everyone trust. Be mind. Use this as an example of just be careful who you trust. Be careful who you let into your life. I've seen plenty of experiences, not even just like this, but similar. Hell, recently I was dealing with someone who also just got out of something abusive. That's a whole other can of worms. But use this as an example of just be careful who you date. At least be careful if when you're looking for a partner or when you get with someone, make sure it's someone that you know for a fact you will trust and that you know will not pull any kind of bullshit of this kind of scale. Because this is someone that you're supposed to be spending the rest of your life with. Make sure that it's someone that will cherish you, love you, and not try to use you for any other gain, for any personal gain like that. Or just be mindful. That's all I have to say.
All right. If no one else has anything else to say, thank you all so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'm kidding. Dark humor and humor in general. Oh, Jesus. Humor in general is how I cope, but
Yep.
with all seriousness, be safe out there, guys, and stay spooky, guys. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.